What's up, y'all? The Depths is live and the content is amazing. There's plenty of PvP in every single dungeon you go into, and of course as much PvE as you want to engage in. This is my very first Depths adventure. I went in solo. Ended up fighting this Depth Giver, Susivictus, if I'm saying his name correctly. It's a draw. We both live and continue the dungeon. He actually invites me, we join up, and then we just kill everyone. I think we had I had 7 fights, including against him. Then we kill 6 teams, including healer comps, which, by the way, healer seems weak in this game type for whatever reason, because we took out at least 2, if not 3, healer teams. But in summary, the loot is pretty decent, especially for content where you're not losing your primary gear, and the PvP content is just amazing. Guys, you got to get out here, and in the fight, it's so much fun. All in all, I think we walked away with about $1.5 million each from this first dungeon, and we only went to the second level, where loot got significantly better, especially against enemies that we killed, because everyone had better loot on them that we were able to loot. So here's where we first linked up. Our first fight is against the healer comp, and we make pretty easy work out of them, especially considering the DPS is Blood Moon with innate sustain of his own. Pretty easy fight. So healer, just like I said, feels lackluster in this content. I'm really liking the double DPS. Yeah, so loot from this first kill, absolutely not great, but that's to be expected. The loot will get exponentially better as you progress through the dungeon, because everyone collects more loot, and then they die, and then that loot is consolidated in the hands of fewer and fewer people. So at the end, you're killing people for pretty dang good loot. So here we have a pretty good fight at this altar. I decided the altars are pretty good places to find content, because anytime anyone gets a kill, they're going to go to the altar to try to convert that into some loot at the altar of greed. So find an altar of greed and camp out there if you want to find content. But it's not hard to come by. We've encountered loot just about around every corner. So yeah, it's been pretty great. Here we've decided we've got pretty much everything we need out of this first floor, so we're going on to the next for better loot. By the way, the buffs in the Depths are quite different from those in the Abbeys. I would say they are less impactful. They're interesting, they're new and different, but slightly less impactful than that of the Abbeys. One reduces resistances of your opponents. One, I think, gives you extra damage, and I forget what the other one does. But yeah, a little bit new and different, but not quite as strong as the other buffs. Here's another fight. You can tell Susavictus is all about taking this fight, no fear. It's awesome. Not a great start. I end up eating the hunter head, but not a big deal. We end up pulling it out anyways. Whew, I thought it might be a dead man there, but Susavictus comes fresh out of his undead cape and saves the day. Hero. Also, you can already tell from that body that loot is already escalating, getting a little bit better here on the second floor, but these later fights will be exponentially better. Yeah, here we encountered another solo player, but he doesn't have quite the prowess as me or Susavictus, so not a big deal. We're happy to take his loot. Thanks, bro. Once again, loot is continuing to get better. Now I have just shy of 1 mil of total loot, and we're not even to the good fights yet. So here's our crowning achievement of the dungeon. We encounter 2 teams that are already kind of engaged. The first one we just destroy. The second one, Healer is Great Nature, and they end up putting up pretty decent fights. Definitely the strongest team that we encountered in this dungeon. Susavictus narrowly escapes, but yeah, we get some pretty decent loot here, and then we go ahead and just call it because it's not worth risking over 3 mil. So there's a 400k body, and this is, you know, without getting primary loot. So at this point, loot is good. You're getting 400k or possibly even more per body. This is only the second level. The third level is going to be crazy. When we get there, it'll probably be, you know, 1 mil plus per body. I can't wait. Also, notice that the layout of the map is smaller on the second level, so you're more likely to encounter PvP content, more likely to encounter good loot. And I'm assuming on the third level it's very small, so you might have time to get a buff and then you're pretty much fighting. So looking forward to that third level content. Like I said, I've only run this one, I gave it this one go and then took a break to cut the video, but awesome content. I highly recommend get out there while the content is good, and I wish you all the best of luck. The rest of the video is just us exchanging the souls for loot and then peacing out. Bye. But yeah, if you watched the video this far, consider subscribing. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next video.